Hello, this presentation was created for teachers of Spring Place Elementary School in Chatsworth, Georgia, as well as for the school leadership team. My name is Tabitha McIntyre. I am currently a 5th grade teacher at Spring Place teaching math and social studies. I just completed my 6th year of teaching. What do we want to know? As a school, we want to know what we can do to improve student achievement. Hence, our purpose is to provide an overview of student performance on the Georgia Milestones assessments in comparison to the district and state scores using data from 2013 through 2016, to compare our data over time, 4 years, to identify possible trends in student achievement, and to disaggregate the data to determine areas of strength and weakness to better serve our subgroup populations. Demographics are an important part of school improvement. We must understand our students and where they are coming from to understand how to best teach them. As you can see, we have consistently had a large percentage of male rather than female students. There are studies that have been conducted showing that boys respond more and feel more comfortable using technology in the classroom and participating in STEM activities. This could come into play while examining our scores. Cultural diversity comes into play with student interpretation of instructional material. Looking at Spring Place's ethnic demographics, we can see that the largest percentage of our students has always been white, but our Hispanic population is considerable. The Hispanic population has also risen within the last year. For this reason, we need to ensure that we are facilitating classrooms that are culturally sensitive and rich in diversity as far as activities and projects. This demographic information should also make us consider language barriers when examining our test scores. While our student transiency rate is not nearly as high as it was in 2013, it still remains significant. How would this affect student performance on standardized tests? More importantly, what can we do about the problems that this transiency rate causes for students? Since you are all Spring Place teachers, you understand exactly how high our economically disadvantaged population is. As of 2016, 85% of our students qualified as ED. This makes us feel like we are at a disadvantage. To be honest, it is a disadvantage. However, that does not give us the right as teachers to use this as a crutch. The data also tells us that 835 of the 2,474 schools in Georgia had the same percentage of ED students as we do. That means 34% of all schools in Georgia have a population that is at least 85% economically disadvantaged. This graphic should not be surprising given the ethnic demographics we saw earlier. As you can see, we have always had a high percentage of ESL students. Which content areas would you expect to be most affected by this data? We all know that attendance is important and affects student achievement, right? Notice that the 2013 line shows our worst data in terms of attendance and that 2016 shows our best. Let's address that when we get to our testing results. This is the demographics of SPE's faculty. The first chart shows the staff disaggregated by gender, and the circle graphs show them disaggregated by subgroup. What do you notice about the graphs? This slide shows percentage of different experience levels from 2013 to 2016 of SPE's teachers. As you can see, we have had a recent influx of brand new teachers. During the next 2 slides, we will discuss student achievement in math. This graph shows us the results from the 2013 and 2014 tests at the school level as compared to the state and district on the number of students who were meeting or exceeding. As you can see, Spring Place and Murray County both outperformed the state by 2% in 2013. While the district continued to outperform state in 2014, the school dropped from 88 to 84%. This is still not a significant drop. The Georgia Milestones test, beginning in 2015, is where we began to fall below the state percentages. These graphs show the percent of students performing at levels 1 through 4 at the state, district, and school levels for 2015 and 2016. Here is where we began to see a pattern. What do you notice about the two graphs? Since Level 3 is proficient and Level 4 is distinguished, these are considered passing. As you can see, Level 4 is where the school begins to fall significantly below the district and state levels. Why do you think this is? Remember when we discussed attendance? Look at the 2013 CRCT data. Do you think attendance was a major factor in the results of test scores? Why? While attendance does play a role in student achievement, it is not necessarily an automatic fail factor. Our attendance was even beginning to move in the right direction in 2014, and our scores went down 7%. As you can see, the Georgia Milestone shows a continued decline in the area of reading. Our percentage of students scoring at Level 1 in 2015, the first year of the test, was 10% higher than both the district and the state. As we saw on the math slides, the percent of students scoring proficient or distinguished is below state and district levels. However, our percentage of Level 4 students did outnumber the districts on the 2016 results. As far as the CRCT is concerned, science is a definite area of strength for SPE. Our school outperformed the district by 8% in 2013 and 4% in 2014. Our district and school performed better on the Science Milestones test than any of the other content areas. On the CRCT test, SPE was even with the district in both 2013 and 2014 and above the state both times. Spring Place dropped below the state and the district a great deal once the Georgia Milestones test came about. There's a 10% difference between the Level 3 and 4 at the state and school levels in 2015 and 8% in 2016. While we are closing the gap a small bit, there is still a significant difference between performance at the state and school levels. The data has revealed several strengths at SPE. The first bullet states increased percentage of staff with less than a year of experience. How can this be both a strength and a weakness for our school? Also, student attendance rates have improved, improving both student performance and our school's CCRPI score. Lastly, the gaps in achievement are shrinking between state and school achievement, although they are shrinking slowly. Of course, the data also reveals our improvement opportunities. As we discussed, inexperienced staff can be both a strength and a weakness. Also, high and increasing levels of poverty, performance at levels 3 and 4 on the Milestones tests, reading scores, and social studies scores. These are on the handout I gave you. We will use these in our PLC meeting. Now we have seen what the data says. This is our reality. Now it is time to act on it. We must ponder, what are the root problems of the weaknesses we identified? What can we change about the way we are teaching students to specifically target reading comprehension? What can we change about the way students are learning in our classrooms to engage them in higher order thinking tasks? And what resources or professional development will be needed? We know our areas that need the most improvement. What we need to discuss next are ways that we can raise student achievement, period. We will assume responsibility for student learning and find ways around the obstacles that have been presented. Keep in mind what we found out about our socioeconomic population. What can we do as teachers to combat these digital and cultural divides? Be specific and focused, discussing interventions, initiatives, what we can stop doing, what we need to start doing, instructional strategies, communication barriers, etc. After the slideshow, we are going to meet with our PLC groups for 30 minutes. During this time, use these questions and weaknesses listed on your handout to drive your discussions. Remember to only talk about actions that we can take.